Having a big catalog of moves, will make fighting in Fortnite a lot easier, but having a small catalog of moves will make fighting harder. So today I'll share 100 of the best moves you must know in order to become an unpredictable player that is hard to fight. To begin this video, I want to show you how you can safely cone an opponent pressuring your wall, whether it goes directly on your wall or even diagonally. You can place a cone above your enemy from simply double editing your floor and cone and placing a high cone above your wall. When doing this move, it's important to have a cone in your own box, as that makes these high cones a ton easier. It's also of course crucial to not mess up your double edits, as that can give your opponent time to read what you're trying to do, and as a result you might take a good chunk of damage. Now, talking about double edits, I also want to show you how you can double edit on an enemy without taking any damage. Most players, when they go for a stair and floor edit, flip the stair and edit the two squares closest to them on the floor. But if you, instead of doing that, flip the stair and edit these three tiles, you'll get an amazing peak that will be very hard for your opponent to counter. Naturally, if you see that your enemy doesn't look at you, then quickly doing a wide edit is totally fine. But if you see that he's staring into your soul and has full awareness over you, I would highly recommend doing this 3-square edit that has recently been popularized by players like Marius Cow and Venau. Next up, I gotta show you guys how to full piece an opponent 100% protected behind the wall. Very often when fighting, you get the opportunity to place a wall to your right and full piece your enemy. When you get this chance, you can simply edit a left window and have a look at these gray transparent lines to make sure you're fully protected. As long as your right hand, the one your editing pencil is in, is protected, your body will be 100% safe. When doing this though, it is crucial that you're hugging the wall, as standing further behind will not only make the full piece impossible, but it will make you a very easy target to hit. When you're hugging the wall and protected by the gray lines, you can confirm the edit and place 2 cones and 2 walls very quickly. The smaller the mouse or controller movements, the better. Then, when your enemy is boxed, move to the right, shoot your shotgun, and quickly reset the wall. Moving on, I gotta talk about a super common issue players face, and that is doing what they feel is a perfect right-hand peek, but still getting tagged. So let me show you how to correctly do a peanut butter edit. And I'll show you how to do it perfectly, both when you're playing edit on release and not. First, we need to ensure that our box is set up in a correct way that allows us to do a flawless peek. A perfect box includes a cone under our feet and a flat above our heads. If these two build pieces aren't in place, you're already messing up. If you're playing edit on release off, you can start doing the edit whenever, but it's when we confirm it that's crucial. When we are in the edit menu, we need to move so close to the wall that our heads are protected under the gray transparent lines. To execute this peek perfectly, your head needs to just barely be under the peak. Once that is set up, you want to start moving to the left whilst holding your W button or forward on your controller. Once you gain a little bit of momentum, you confirm the edit, then directly after, jump, shoot your shotgun shot, and quickly reset the edit. For edits on release turned on, it's a lot harder, but it's still possible to do it with enough practice. When playing this setting turned on, you gotta run all the way 100% into the wall, and then edit the peanut butter edit. When the edit is confirmed, you continue to hold W and make a move to the left. When you gain a tiny bit of momentum, you jump, shoot your shotgun, and reset. For some reason, people are really bad at fighting when their opponents make a lot of boxes. To 100% safely apply pressure to these boxes, drop down diagonally next to them and build your own box with a cone inside of it and a flat above. You also want to build a box next to you so that you're secure from any third party. From this position, you can apply pressure either by pickaxing the wall or by shooting your gun. What's incredibly important when you get the wall is that you remain behind your peak. You need to learn to blueprint edit your way into opening up on the player you're fighting. Do not jump into the other box and take a 50-50. If you do this setup on one side of a team and your duo does the same on the other side, you'll be able to apply a ton of pressure to any team you're fighting, and as a result, you'll probably win the fight. On the same topic, you can do a safe aggressive setup from above by again making a box over a player or a team. Build an additional box over your opponent's builds through a peanut butter edit and start taking the cone, whether it be with your pickaxe or weapon. Then, when going for the flat, be incredibly careful. The majority of players will try to deal damage to you when you're on the flat. Extremely few will ever double edit on you, meaning editing the floor and the cone. So the cone in 99% of scenarios will always be yours to take. When the enemy edits the flat, be ready, hold W into your right hand peak and deal damage when he opens an edit. When the damage has been dealt, get in that box and get the elimination. Next up, I want to show you one of the most underrated ways to get a free shot off when playing defensively. If you're getting pushed, you want to go ahead and build 2 boxes. Place a cone and a wall in one box and then a stair above your head. After all of this, you want to edit a door in the opposite direction of where you're getting pushed from. If you're fighting in the air and not on the ground like I am, you want to build a flat, then edit these 2 tiles, hold them, and then as soon as you jump up on the door, you want to confirm the edit so that the floor breaks. Then you want to sit crouched on the door, waiting for your opponent to either start claiming tops on you or dropping down on one of your side walls. From the hundreds of times I've done this, I've only been spotted a handful of times. So this is truly a hidden gem when it comes to moves in Fortnite. If you're a bit more advanced and someone plays so aggressively against you to the level of getting in your box, then this move is so clutch. When you're on a stair and the opponent is in the same box as you, you want to do a Dorito edit out to the left, where you'll also build a new box with a cone at the bottom and a flat above. Then when you're in your new box, you want to quickly edit the stair that you left and do a perfect right-hand peek where you hug the wall and jump to the left. If you practice this and do it super fast, it's one of the most effective ways to deal a ton of counter damage. On more or less the same note, if you're a little more healthy, you can do a super solid right-hand peek with your stair alone. When you have your opponent in your box under your stair, you want to go ahead and edit the left half of it forward. Then when it's confirmed, you want to very quickly jump to the right, shoot your shot, and reset the stair. If this is done correctly and you get enough sideways movement, you'll be incredibly hard to hit. And more often than not, you'll end up getting a free shot off. Another way you can almost always get a free shot off is by facing cones. Now, if someone is boxed up without a cone, you can easily face a cone in there by placing a flat and a cone in front of their box when you're playing from a diagonal angle. When these 2 pieces are placed, you want a single tile double edit them on the edit tile closest to you. And after that, you want to hold your cone out at a slight downwards angle, and you'll easily be able to slide a cone in. The reason this is so good is because your opponent will in most scenarios be repositioning. If they end up inside the cone, they'll of course drop down. In that case, you can hit them with a downwards piece control. And if they don't, chances are high they'll go out to their left, like so many players do. So if you're ready, after you've faced your cone, you might be able to get a hefty shot off. For the next 50 tips, I'm going to give you 10 tips for the skill level of beginners, then competent players, advanced, proficient ones, and lastly, 10 tips for the expert players watching. And the remaining 40 tips after that will be all-around tips that can help anyone become more well-rounded. So if you're not a beginner, feel free to use the video chapters to skip to wherever you'd like in today's video. 90s is one of the first moves new Fortnite players must learn. It's incredibly good to get high ground quickly over an opponent, whether it be in real games or creative. To do a perfect 90, there are 3 things that must be in place. First, line yourself up far to the left or right of the stair you're running up. If you want to do 90s to the right, you line yourself up on the left. And if you want to do 90s to the left, you line yourself up on the right. The most popular 90s are the ones showcased in the background. Once you're all lined up, you want to build a wall above you, a wall to the right of that wall, and a wall under that one. You build these pieces very quickly. And then as soon as they're built, I'm talking the millisecond they're placed, you want to jump whilst continuously moving forward and pressing your D button or holding your joystick to the right. You do not ever want to press A or move to the left when doing a 90 to the right. In addition, you want to avoid hitting the wall to your left at all costs. When you get more comfortable doing these 90s, you can start implementing sprinting into them to make them even faster. The higher on your ramp you can land before doing your second 90, the better. This next move is called a Thwifo cone. It's an essential move to master to later down the line learn more advanced moves that I'll go over in today's video. To do the Thwifo cone, you want to ramp upwards, then jump, and follow that up with doing a 180 where you very quickly turn around and start building walls. 2 walls to your right and 1 wall behind you. Then when all these walls are built, preferably super fast, you can place a cone above your head, and before you land on your feet again from your jump, turn around so that you again face forward. Another must-know move is to place walls through a cone, especially when your opponent cones you. A lot of people when build fighting start stressing as soon as somebody places a cone above their heads, but in most scenarios, you can actually chill fully out. Place a few walls through the enemy's cone and break the cone and make your way up towards the high ground yet again. This is also a very unexpected move that few players make, although it's incredibly simple. This move is best when you have full awareness over the opponent, as if you lose awareness over the guy you're fighting, you might get caught breaking the cone, and he might get a free shot off. Being comfortable placing these walls through cones though is again important for other more advanced moves as well, so knowing about this move is crucial. You know what else is crucial? Never missing a side jump. Side jumps are when you jump out from under a flat or a cone to very quickly gain some elevation, often in build fights. For beginners, I recommend learning to side jump from a stair with a cone above it, and firstly just landing on a floor. This is a move that shouldn't take long to get down. When you're feeling comfortable with the side jump and landing on a flat, you can add a stair to your side jump to even faster make your way to the high ground of a fight. Learning these two side jump fundamentals will allow you to later develop some more advanced side jumps that I'll also go over later in today's video. But before we start talking about more advanced moves, we need to get the basics down first. And this next move is learning to edit a ramp in the most consistent way. There are two ways you can edit your ramps. The inconsistent way is editing in a straight line from rectangle to rectangle. The consistent way, on the other side, is editing your ramps using the diagonal rectangles. The reason this is much better is because you'll have to make smaller mouse or controller movements, meaning you have more control. And if you over time get to a really solid level, you'll also find it easier to maintain awareness in fights when your editing movements are as small as this edit allows for. Another basic you absolutely must know is high cones. High cones are essentially placing cones above walls on the other side of where you're standing. Mastering this simple build move will already make you better than the majority of players playing today. Mastering it all comes down to understanding the grid system in Fortnite. With that, I mean how high you have to look for your cone to land on the other side of a wall and not on your side. Learning where builds place depending on how you move and place your crosshair is something you should practice in a focused manner if your goal is improvement. On the topic of cones, you also must know how to jump inside of a cone. Jumping inside of a cone with 100% consistency is not only good to get awareness when playing ranked or tournaments, but if you master this skill to an extremely high extent, you can also use this move in fights to get out of sticky situations, like for example when you get full boxed. This, however, is something very few players are able to do. To jump inside of a cone, build a box with a cone under and above you. Then you want to go to the very middle of the cone under your feet. Jump and place a flat. On a slightly more mechanical level, if you're a beginner, I highly recommend learning to double edit down and place two walls and a cone without having to jump in the box. A lot of players, including really good ones, have the bad habit of piece controlling someone under them and jumping in and taking a 50-50. Instead of building this habit into your muscle memory, practice editing a cone and a floor, and then with a small mouse movement, building these two walls and placing a cone as fast as you can, all while standing from above and not jumping in. This next tip is for when you're taking a wall. A lot of players, when they take a wall, wide edit the wall they've taken to place a cone and shoot a shot. If you instead of doing that, edit a peanut butter and stand so far to the left that you're actually protected behind the wall and place a cone by looking at the right wall instead of the floor, you'll have made a way better peek, which obviously makes you a much harder target to hit. And you get to do the exact same move, just objectively speaking better. This one is a little bit different since you have to look at the wall and not at the floor to place your cone. But if you can build this trick into your muscle memory, you'll be a harder player to fight. The final beginner tip is practicing triple edits. Now, triple edits in themselves aren't good for much. They're not generally speaking good to use in fights, and you'll never need them in endgames. But practicing triple edits is one of the fastest ways to get high tier edit timing. So although the move stinks in real games, it's still something I highly recommend people to learn, especially beginners, due to all the other benefits that come with mastering this move. For the following 10 moves, I'll be focusing on moves that fit the skill level of competent players. Players who already knows how to build and edit to a relatively high standard. The first of these 10 we're taking a look at is Clix ramps. This trick was not founded by Clix, but it was heavily popularized by him. To do it, you want to build up 2 ramps. Then, when you're at the top of your first one, you want to quickly build a floor and a ramp without jumping. When these pieces are built, you want to jump up on the other ramp. When you combine all of this into one motion, it becomes an effective way to regain high ground over anyone. It can be used when playing creative, ranked, or even in full-on stacked endgames. When you get the entire move down to a T, you can start practicing doing it with sprinting, as it becomes even more effective in terms of taking high ground when you sprint. Another move you must learn that includes sprinting is sprinting side jumps. There are two main ones you need to learn. Firstly, the easy one where you sprint side jump and land on a stair facing the same way as the ramp you jumped from. This one is super easy because you have all the time in the world to place the stair. The second one is a lot more challenging. You sprint and do the side jump out of the cone and land on a ramp facing to the right of where you jumped from. The timing of this is fast. Almost as soon as you jump, you need to quickly place the flat and the stair to be able to get this elevated flat ramp side jump. Now, even better for taking high ground is high walls. Mastering high walls is your ticket to take a height from anyone. High walls are super simply just when you place two walls above each other. This can be done when doing a side jump, when just ramping normally upwards, or straight from a flat. The best thing to do after having placed your high walls is opening up a window and placing a cone through your wall. If you have good awareness, you'll be able to cone your opponent very often from this move alone. The best way, in my opinion, to practice this is sprinting and doing a side jump whilst you high wall every time. If you can do this 100% consistently, you'll become a very hard player to fight. It's truly one of the most effective moves in all of Fortnite. A move that isn't as effective but is still super good when trying to gain elevation and for your build fight 1v1s in general is the Kaiuuu classic. Now this one is simply done by placing a ramp and a cone upwards and two walls through it. When the walls are placed, you want to edit this one tile of the cone and then do a Dorito edit on the wall. When the Dorito edit has been made, place two walls next to each other and a stair and a cone yet again. Then follow that up by doing the same process again. Place two walls through the cone, edit the cone, and edit through the wall. As soon as you've completed that entire sequence, that move is basically done, and you're free to do whatever you'd like. I prefer making another stair and a cone and doing a side jump with high walls to finish it off. It's a slightly unorthodox move that is highly unpredictable, especially the first time someone plays against you. This next one is incredibly easy. Yeah, super effective again. Very often when you're on the low ground fighting against someone on height, they'll end up on your cone. If you're ready when your opponent stands on it, you can simply edit the floor and the cone to full box the enemy. If you're fast enough, doing a 50-50 will in most scenarios be totally okay, as his aim will get thrown off by your quick edits. However, if you recognize that he has full awareness over you, then you can full piece him, go out of the box and do a window edit or a peanut butter right hand peek. It doesn't get easier than this full box, so getting it done consistently is something I highly recommend. Moving on, if we flip the script and say that we're on the high ground once again, we want to make sure that we have the window edit ramp flip move in place. To do this move, simply edit a window on a wall and hold your ramp blueprint out to place and edit the ramp you're going to flip. The good thing about this move is that you can easily catch someone doing a side jump, and as a result, you'll often get a free shot off. This next one right here is so incredibly important. When you're playing defensively and someone is boxed up above you, in for example a solo couch cup, a super easy way to drop them down into your box is taking their flat with your pickaxe and then shooting down their cone and holding a ramp. Placing a ramp will drop the opponent right down into your box, and if you stand behind a right hand peak like I do here, you will have a 100% free elim. This is even better in duos, so if you can get your duo to look for drop downs with you, you could potentially get so many elims following this strategy. On another tournament oriented note, you must also be fast at getting a pre-edit ready. Pre-edits when playing duos tournaments are so insane to get refreshes, whether it be in moving zones or in fights when your opponents are boxed up. Of course, this doesn't work super well if your enemies are 100% ready for you to make the play, but doing this 6 square pre-edit quickly in a moving zone to get some free elims on the front side is a great play that you should always be prepared to make. It's not the best play in solos, although you sometimes can get away with doing it. I recommend only making that play if you see that the opponent is fully clueless. A thing that players, even super talented ones, neglect all the time is practicing the timing of exploits. Now, exploits, whether it be with a ramp above your head or just when you want to run inside of a box by perfectly shooting your way in, should be practiced. Messing up an exploit against good players is a sure way to take a ton of damage. So when you're playing creative, make sure to set up a wall and practice exploits every now and then. The main one I really recommend focusing on is the one where you just run in the box without any stair or anything above your head. Getting better timing than 99% of everyone else is really easy when it comes to exploits. So don't be lazy and just include this into your warm-up routine. For the final tip for competent players, you absolutely must practice his scuffed edits. Scuffed edits are when you're really close to the wall, have to edit a stair in a way you usually don't, or just generally practicing any edits you're not good at. You see, the thing is, the times we die in fights are usually because of a flaw, and the flaws tend to only happen on the scuffed edits. But for some reason, people never practice making edits on these tough angles. This is also something I recommend including into your warm-up routine. Just taking a few minutes and really making it hard for yourself to edit, because trust me, it will make you a way more consistent player that rarely goes down to a missed edit. Moving on over to the 10 tips for the advanced players watching, I want to begin by showing you a super good way to get a free shot or even potentially a fully free elim on someone who's one tile under you diagonally. To do this, you want to stand on a flat and place 2 walls, one on your level and one down to the right. You can also do this trick to the left, but when fighting, you will in most scenarios get the opportunity to do this down to the right. So that's what I'm going over today. Then when you've built these 2 walls, you want to grab the wall one tile under you from the very top left square. It's important to start the move from here, as that will make it a lot easier. Then you want to quickly select these 6 tiles, place 2 cones and get a free shot, or even a free elim. When doing this move in a fight, it's important to do it fast, and it's important to commit. If you're going to go for this play, you need to be confident in finishing the fight, as if you're insecure, this play will cause more harm than good. But overall, it's an unorthodox move that is really good if you do it quickly and with confidence. A lot of people edit ramps, flats, and then ramps below them, but most people do it the wrong way. When you edit your ramp at the very bottom, you want to edit the ramp from the left to the right. You do not want to edit the stair from the back to the front, like so many players do. The reason they have stair facing right is better is because it generally makes the angle from the opponent's POV harder, meaning you'll not only be a much harder target to hit, but you'll also have way more time to line up your shot and hit a max damage. Another move that is absolutely insane to pull off is double editing a flat and a cone. And then when you get to the wall, you edit a middle window. Make sure you're protected by the gray transparent lines before confirming. Then when the edit is confirmed, placing 2 cones and 2 walls. If your enemy instantly starts running out to the left, you can full piece him again through a window. But this is optional and completely depends on the situation. This move is quite hard to master, but if you get it down, it's a neat way to box any player you're fighting and look incredibly cool whilst doing it. What you'll also look very cool doing is editing your floor and cone like showcased in the background footage, and full piecing your opponent, then jumping up and hitting a max damage shot. The only hard thing about this move is having good enough trigger discipline to hit a max damage shotgun shot. A lot of people make the mistake of trying to be a hard target to hit when doing this move, when in reality all you have to focus on is doing this move with the intention of giving yourself an easy shot to hit. Now, since we're talking about advanced moves here, doing edits and build resets is something I must mention. Now, edit build resets are basically just when you find a timing to edit a wall on someone who's not able to shoot a shot at you and place walls around them, full piece them, and then quickly reset the wall. This demands a good game sense, as you need to make sure your opponent isn't able to shoot. This can for example be done when he's just shot a shotgun shot. It's a move sometimes used by players like Clix, and it's incredibly effective, especially in team game modes, and if you know how to do perfect right hand peeks. Go into creative, do some edits and quick full boxes, and then reset. Learning to be consistent at build edit resets can really take your skill to the next level. What will also take it to the next level is mastering facing stairs. Now, facing stairs in itself isn't super difficult. You simply break an opponent's wall, and whilst he's holding the wall, you press your ramp button and you'll get the ramp through. However, it's what you do after that stair is faced that is crucial. One of the easiest ways to get a free shot on your opponent after facing a stair is piece controlling a box out to the right. Very often, especially against low tier players, your enemy will reposition out here once your stair is in his box. Learning to consistently face ramps and make this box out to the right will make you a better fighter. Another move you gotta learn after facing a ramp in an opponent's box is piece controlling under the enemy. You see, slightly higher level players will often drop down when someone faces a stair into their box. If you're ready as soon as your opponent does this, and double edit your cone and flat into placing a wall, editing said wall into a window and placing a cone, you'll always get a free shot off. You can also full piece the opponent when he makes this play, but most of the time, just placing a cone will be more than enough to eliminate the guy you're fighting. You don't want to overcomplicate and waste time full piecing when you can just place a cone. Now, talking about cones, you also need to learn a Thwifo cone side jump. Thwifo Thwifo cones, like we went over earlier, are simply when you do a 180 to place 4 walls and a cone. But if you add a flat and a stair and a side jump to this move, it becomes even more effective for taking height. Another thing you can also do with the Thwifo cone is Thwifo cone side jumping into placing high walls and full piecing your opponent. This move isn't too good in real games, but when it comes to build fighting your friends or even some really good players, this move is an easy way to box any opponent you might face. The last Thwifo cone I want to show for all of you advanced players watching is when you do a Thwifo cone into placing a flat and a stair, then editing the cone above you into another ramp in the opposite direction, and then doing Clix ramps. By doing this move, you'll gain an impressive amount of elevation in a really short period of time. And when trying to retake high ground, this is a must-know move, given just how effective it is. Alright. Taking a step up, it's time to go in depth about the best moves for proficient players. Now, these will be moves that come down to very demanding mechanical sets of builds and edits, moves where you need a high level of game sense to successfully do them, and last but certainly not least, moves that will only work if you have phenomenal timing. And since we're talking about timing, I want to begin by showing you how to do a setup when practicing or even just straight up going for pre-fires. Now, I do need to say that pre-fires are not super good in seasons with strong spray weapons like the SMGs we have this season. However, when ARs and SMGs aren't super strong and shotguns are by far the best weapons in the game, pre-fires are insanely good. So getting them down is a great skill to develop for your long-term career. Doing this move is very simply done by placing a stair and a flat above an opponent's box. Then you want to flip the stair towards you and edit these 2 tiles of the flat. Once you're down on the wall, you want to have full awareness over your opponent, and then as soon as he makes an edit, you shoot, jump up, and reset the flat. The timing of all of this demands incredible experience, but this is by far the best setup to use when going for pre-fires, as you simply can't get coned. If you're fighting someone who's on 200 HP just like you, and he instantly boxes up, doing this play is a phenomenal way to get that first tag that allows you to comfortably play aggressively and with an advantage. Move 42 is pre-editing a ramp when playing aggressively on an opponent boxed up. To do this, you want to rotate your ramp once so that it is rotated to the right. When your enemy opens up a peanut butter edit, you want to place this ramp and ultra quickly drop down and piece control under him. I've found that in about 70% of scenarios, down is where people go when this ramp is placed. What you need to be careful about though is that the opponent doesn't face the stair you're placing or end up on the wrong side of it, because if that happens, you'll probably lose the fight. This is a move that I personally can't do consistently. Way better players than me, like Pink, is really good at utilizing this one, but it does demand a great chunk of work and super solid game sense. What requires almost no game sense, but just pure raw mechanics, is being able to double edit upwards, flip your cone, and double edit again. In the background footage, you can see me doing this move against my good friend Trim. And the great thing about this move is that it is quite unpredictable. And if you do it with confidence, you can almost always win a fight quickly if you just full commit when you get the opportunity. To do this move, you want to quickly edit your flat and your cone. Then place a wall in front of you and to the right. When that is done, you want to grab the cone and start re-editing it in the shape of a stair facing right. You want to confirm this edit whilst you're in the air so that you can land on the edited cone so that you can, if needed, do the move again and again. Obviously, in most fights, doing 2 of these will be more than enough. But sometimes, especially in creative, you might have to whip out 3 or even 4 of these to gain the high ground. Another sick move you can do when you develop good mechanics and awareness is double editing opponents into your own box. When you see that the guy you're fighting is about to run a set direction, you want to super quickly build a flat and a cone and then wide edit these 2 in a fast manner so that he drops directly into your crosshair. Not only will his crosshair placement be fully messed up, but you will also have a very easy shot to hit, given that he's falling in a 100% predictable line. You also have all the time in the world to line this shot up. The more advanced you become, the easier this move gets as well. So practicing it is something I highly recommend. Another trick that is sick is when you high cone, place a wall, edit a window, and full piece the enemy. When all of this is made into one motion, it becomes an amazing way to full box any enemy you might be fighting. Of course, you gotta make sure you do a good peek after doing this one to make it effective. But if you have that on lock as well, which means that you're able to consistently make great peeks, this is truly one of the most effective ways to finish a fight super quickly. To slowly show you how it's done, you want to build a wall in front of you, place a cone above it, it, then stair upwards towards your cone. After that is done, you want to place a wall at it, whatever window will keep it protected behind the wall, and full piece the opponent. This move is actually quite simple, but knowing the timing of when you can do it and not is what is hard. And of course, also being able to actually finish the fight when you box the opponent. So focus on being behind the gray lines when you peek and shoot your enemy. Coming up next, we have a double editing and waiting for your opponent to peek you. This move right here all comes down to awareness and aim. If you see that your opponent is playing close to your tops, you will in many scenarios surprise the opponent by double editing and being far down on the ramp you're double editing from. You could also do this double edit from inside of a box. This move was actually popularized a long time ago by Metro, but for some reason people seem to have forgotten all about this, as I've recently not seen this play once, although it genuinely is a good one. To do it, you want to build a box, then place a stair inside of your box and stand at the bottom of your ramp. You need to be so far down that you can't press S to go any further backwards. Then when you're in this position, you want to quickly double edit your flat and cone while still standing in the same spot. You do not want to move forward because this will make you many times easier to hit. This move is actually insane, and it works pretty much every time. Of course, if you do it more than once whilst fighting the same guy, you might get tagged the second time, but if you only do it once, you'll almost always get away with a free tag. Talking about getting free tags, I want to show you an insane start in build fights to often get a free elim super quickly. You want to begin by doing one jumping 90 and then one walking 90 as fast as you can. Then you want to build 2 more ramps in the same direction of your second 90, but add 1 additional ramp on your third ramp to the left. Then you want to finish the move off with placing a wall in front of said ramp, editing it in the shape of a window, and doing a mongraal classic. I'm being so serious in saying that this is one of the quickest ways to win a 1v1 build fight battle. I do this and succeed in catching my opponents like 1 out of 3 times, even when I've played 100 rounds with someone. So if there is one simple start I can teach you guys, it would be this one. For this next one, I want to go over the importance of placing a wall when you're double editing on an opponent. Let's say you get a cone on a flat on someone and you go to double edit down on them, but since there's no wall between you and your enemy, you get walled off and you miss out on an easy opportunity to get a free elim. This is of course not what we want. So learning the timing of double editing and then insanely quickly placing a wall and editing it will be a move that will take your skill level to the very next level. Another skill that will take you to the next level is sprinting side jump shots. Doing side jumps and shooting midair is one of the sickest ways to get free shots on your opponent. And if you have good movement when going for these, you'll be an incredibly unpredictable player to fight. To make this even harder to predict for your opponent, you can build out a few cones to the right, for example, and instantly after jump out to the left. Faking these builds can really come in handy, so practicing this when playing build fights is something I definitely recommend. Moving on to the final difficulty level of moves, we're going to be going over 10 moves for the expert players watching. And the first move I want to show you all is an insane double edit into diagonal piece control. Now, I'm not good enough to do this consistently, but if you're playing at a mechanical level like some pros, then this might be something for you. Begin by doing a double edit, place 2 walls like showcased in the background footage, and then edit this 4 square edit on the right wall. Then connect 2 more walls by continuing the motion you already started, and when these walls are placed, you want to quickly place 2 cones below and above you. Then finish the move off by full piecing out 1 box in front of you. Move 52 is a bit easier, but still quite unorthodox. Begin by chopping down an opponent when you see an opportunity. When it's chopped down, you shoot your shotgun shot and place either a cone or a flat where it's about to land. Then you want to back up, do 2 high walls, and stare upwards towards your wall. When you get close to the wall, you open a window and slide a cone through. Then directly after, you want to sprint out to either the left or right and do a side jump whilst you place cones and walls. Edit the wall when you've landed and finish the job. When you're getting to the expert tier, you also need to consistently be able to drop down on people's side and ultra quickly place a wall and edit a peanut butter edit. You gotta be able to do this super fast, and when you've dropped down to do the edit, you gotta comfortably do it whilst moving far to the left. In my case, as you can see, I didn't move anywhere near far enough to the left when I opened my edit. It will in most scenarios be fine to do it like I did, but if you can adapt a good peek into your muscle memory in addition to having top tier speed, then you'll literally be playing at an expert level. You see, when you build these bad habits like I have from the start, it's so much harder to relearn the muscle memory. So practice practice in a slow and controlled manner first. And then when you have good enough movement to the standard of having great peaks even when you don't think about it, you can start speeding up your moves. Another move that has become more and more popular among pros is doing backwards triple edits. Now, this may look a little bit weird, but that's because I'm not good at it at all. Backwards triple edits are really good because it's unpredictable. Very rarely when you see someone place a flat on a cone will they edit backwards. If you're able to do this move whilst keeping full track of the opponent and combine it with other moves like high walls and window peaks, then you can reap the benefits of this one. To do it, you simply have to place a flat and a cone, start editing the flat whilst you're making the move towards a 180, and then edit the cone to finish the 180, then place a wall and edit through it. For this next one, I want to show you a really underrated one. Start by placing 2 stairs in front of you, place a cone on the furthest one away, and hold your cone blueprint out. Then, whilst holding the blueprint, you want to edit the cone into a ramp facing the opposite direction of where you're looking. After that, you want to place 2 high walls whilst making the move of doing a 90, and then adding a stair under your feet and above your head. Then, really quickly edit through this wall to the left. Full piece the cone you edited, and either reset the cone or go out and make a right-hand peak. Did you know that you can pickaxe flat screw cones? If you just look to the left of this square-looking plank, this move without looking exactly here is really hard to pull off, and for that reason it's a move that is rarely used in 2024. The reason it's really good to know how to do this consistently is because you can hit the flat above a cone once, then hit the cone once, and then trick the opponent by choosing either one of the 2 to hit on your next pickaxe swing. If you're playing on bad ping, this is especially something you gotta learn, given that taking pieces becomes way easier when applying pressure to both the flat and the cone at the same time. Move 57 is being able to triple edit into doing a reverse mongraal classic. As I said earlier in today's video, triple edits in themselves aren't good, but if you're able to place a ramp after triple editing and editing it from the bottom left to the top left, then this play can be super good. And it's something I recommend practicing, given that it's quite mechanically challenging. If you want to make it even more advanced, you can do it by starting with a Thwifo cone, then far edit the cone into a stair facing to the left of your character. Place a stair, 2 walls and a cone above you. Then you want to go ahead and flip the cone and make it into a stair. Place a flat and triple edit through into placing a stair and doing the reverse mongraal classic. Another classic you gotta learn is the Martoz classic. To do the Martoz classic, you want to ramp upwards, then super quickly place a flat, edit 1 tile down to the right, place a stair above your head, full piece the enemy, and jump up and hit a max damage shot. In my opinion, hitting a shot from the Martoz classic is super difficult, but if you practice it a lot and become consistent with it, this is one of the better moves to pull off, both in creative and in real games, given just how much you'll make your opponent feel like a flopper when you jump up and hit that insane shotgun shot. The final expert tip before we move on to some more insanely valuable general tips is doing a double edit into a window edit and coning your opponent. To do this, you want to begin by placing a flat and a cone and editing them both and placing 2 walls, one in front of you and one to the right. Continue the move by simply editing a window and placing a cone. You want to move really far to the left and then make a sideways jump to the right when peeking this window and going for a shot. This move, if executed correctly, will make you a super hard target to hit, given that you're moving quickly and doing an unpredictable set of builds and edits. Next up, I want to show you some tournament moves, because most of you guys watching me play Fortnite tournaments, and if you don't, then I recommend getting into it, as it's super fun, and this can low-key be a little bit of an introduction to competitive to those of you who are yet to try it. When basing up in stacked tournament games, building a Bloodx base like showcased in the background is much better than building a set of boxes. The reason these bases are so good is because you'll have full 360-degree views around you, and if you see someone you can potentially get an elim on, you don't have to edit a cone or a wall and peek out. Doing edits from boxes is such an easy way to get either beamed or sniped. So this base is better for both awareness when it comes to shooting opponents, and I also gotta add that it's way easier to refarm when you get the overview from this base compared to your standard set of boxes. In addition, if you play practice, I'm talking customs, then forcing yourself to play these bases is so much more effective, since you're not going to just be sitting and staring at a wall when this is your base. You'll be active, look around, and if you practice correctly, you'll also pre-plan your rotates in a good manner from this box. Now, sometimes you need to build normal boxes boxes if you're really close to other teams and forced to box up, for example. What's really important when you do this is not editing towards the lobby when you're later rotating, but rather making your way to the bottom of your base and then editing in the opposite direction of where the majority of players are based. In most tournament games, if you pre-plan a rotate, you can rotate instantly. The benefits of rotating instantly is that a lot of other players will be on their map looking at the new zone and thinking about where to rotate. When rotating instantly, your goal should be to just get in the zone. There's really no point in shooting anyone when you rotate insta, as players before the moving zones will just have 200 HP anyways. Naturally, it's a different story if you see that someone gets cracked and you're scuffed on mats and heals. But generally, just try your best to go under the radar. Don't even shoot at a single guy, even if you can deal 100 damage. I also want to add that people often forget that shooting when rotating adds a lot of ice on you, especially when rotating early. You're kind of saying to the entire lobby, here am I, shoot at me. So when possible, just avoid it completely. As you can see from where I'm positioned right now, the zone will pull straight forward. The beauty of this spot here is that the left side will open up a so-called space. Playing this space in first, second, or third moving allows you to almost always be uncontested and dominate one side of the moving zone. Understanding the space and the benefits of it is something that will come in handy, especially in stacked duos games, as if you're able to claim the space and you're okay at getting refreshes, your endgames will become so much easier, and as a result, you'll end up becoming a more consistent player that gets better tournament results. When playing the space, it's also really important to know about mat switching. You need to use your wood when you're quickly moving from box to box, but then when you're at a spot in the moving zones where you need to stay for a prolonged period of time, you need to use metal. This is another simple move that will make you more consistent. Just knowing when to use wood, brick, and metal. Now, on the topic of endgames, if you ever want to become really good, you need to be able to get your refreshes on the front side of the moving zones. Time and time again, I see such talented players get worse placements than what they deserve due to the fact that they're constantly going for refreshes on the backside. The reason the frontside refreshes are so much better than backside refreshes is because the average opponent on the front side will have way more mats than the average player on the backside of the moving zones. Of course, this also usually comes with the fact that they are harder to eliminate. But if you're able to spot out when the enemy lacks awareness and you can smack on a wall on a frontside player and get that elim, then you'll go far in this game. Frontside is generally also where you want to be when going for high ground. If you're a guy looking up for height, you want to look from the front of the team up there. This is because firstly, you give yourself a better time to take it if you eventually go for it, and secondly, the frontside angles are usually your best bet at dealing initial damage that allows you to build up and fight for this position. If you're someone who likes playing high ground and feel as though you always win games from this position, there are a few things you should look for before going for it. Firstly, if the team on height isn't constantly holding frontside, they're probably bad, meaning that it will be a good bet going for it. Alternatively, if they don't actively spray a lot, they're also more than likely bad players. And finally, of course, if they use wood and you have more than 500 mats, you have an advantage when going for high ground. And when you spot these things tonight and you know within your own head that you have an advantage in going for it, you need to understand that if that move doesn't work, it was still a good play. This is something I wish somebody had told me 5 years ago, because I've been someone who has made a play in a tournament that was insanely good, but since I didn't execute it in a good enough way and ended up eliminated because of the play I went for, I thought that the play was bad, when that couldn't have been further from the truth. Very often, people know what to do, just not how to execute it in a good way. So if you, when practicing, can make good plays and practice on the execution of said plays, you'll over time become a phenomenal player. A thing people are really bad at understanding is that they need to commit when going for a play. Let's for example say you want to go for height, and you're thinking that you want to take it, but not if the team fights back. Then you'll start building up for it, and when the team starts fighting you a tiny bit, you say to your duo, let's drop down, let's not take it. If this sounds like a play you might make, then you're wasting so many mats. Just think about it. That insecurity and the lack of guts to commit cost you at least a few hundred mats. This is a bad play a ton of players make. So if you're making a play for height especially, make sure you're ready to full commit, because half committing is a massive flaw you shouldn't allow yourself to make. If you've listened to all of these height tips, you should be able to take it. But what's just as important as being able to take height is being active when you're up there. You see, in the games you have height, you really must maximize the points you're getting. And if you're like so many others, just sitting, doing absolutely nothing on height, you simply won't win your games. Being active on height is, just like we talked about earlier, the correct play to go for. So if you're running out of mats, don't pray for a miracle. Make something happen yourself. Be active, look for opportunities, and when you see them, go for them with supreme confidence. One super important move I almost forgot about is the move of taking height without connecting to the other team. A lot of players, when they go for high ground, start build fighting and connecting to the team they're versing. Now, this strategy can work if you get a lot of initial damage. However, if you don't get any initial damage, you want to make it as uncomfortable as possible for the team currently on height. And the way to do that is to go upwards so far away from the team currently up there that if they get chopped, they'll get eliminated to full damage. Don't give them the opportunity to safely land on your builds and survive. No, if they get chopped, they should get sent back to the lobby. When going up right without connecting, there are two things you must keep in mind. Firstly, staying connected to your starting point, meaning having an enforced point of where you begin taking it. And of course, in hard mats, never ever would. And secondly, you want to make sure to find a way to consistently apply pressure even though you're building up. This can be done if you, for example, have a pre-made plan with your duo that he chops whilst you go up and take their focus, or a totally different way that you find fits your playstyles. If you're not able to take high ground, which is also totally okay, you must also rotate instantly on moving zones if you have the mats. Now, earlier I talked about the importance of rotating early in mid-game, but I also want to go over the extreme importance of early rotates on moving zones, due to just how much of an advantage you'll get if you apply this into your endgame strategy. Let's say you're done playing a first moving zone, and then the second moving zone is about to show in 3 seconds. If you're telling your duo to get ready to instantly rotate, you guys can in most scenarios instantly run to the front side of the second moving. If you rotate the millisecond the second moving zone is shown, without having to place a single build. Whereas if you just wait 5 seconds, everybody else in the lobby will also be rotating, and this will cause it to be a way higher probability that you take damage and get scuffed for the rest of the endgame. The same can pretty much be said for every single moving zone, but in third moving, it's all about claiming space, and that's why you want to rotate early, so that you can, without being contested by any other team wanting to play your layer, quickly and comfortably claim a layer. In third moving, people also begin to on average be on very low HP, so if you play patiently until this point, you can start fragging out. And then for the final moving zone, you want to again rotate as early as possible, if you have the mats of course, and remain at the front side at all times, building in metal. If you follow this strategy, I can guarantee that you'll be more consistent in your end games. One of the best moves if you're someone who enjoys playing on low ground is placing 2 cones above you on low ground in hards and claiming space ahead, always. The reason this is really good is because you'll be cutting off any potential space for teams also wanting to play the low ground. If you play a single box like is normal in first, second, and third moving, you'll allow for a team to basically drop down on your side and start pressuring you. This is of course not what we want. We want to play a game that is as easy to perform in as possible, and by doing this move, you ensure that. On a more fundamental level, you also gotta know how to tarp upwards using stairs and walls. This move is really good if you need to gain elevation and have the mats to spend it to do it in a safe manner. To do it, simply place ramps below and above you, then walls on the right and left side. You want to do it in the way I'm showcasing in the background footage, with as small and precise mouse movements as possible. A lot of people make the major mistake of flicking their mouse back and forth. This will unfortunately make it very hard to maintain awareness, so limiting this shakiness to the highest possible standard should be our goal. Another move I have to add on here is not overpeeking when you go for height or shots from a ramp for that matter. A lot of low tier players think how you peek out of a stair doesn't matter, but how far up your body is when shooting with your AR from a ramp is crucial when it comes to winning trades, especially when you're taking height from a low ground position. Practice upon looking at how far down on the ramp you can be and still shoot your AR, and trust me, you'll be more successful when going for those ranged duels. Alright, so I've gone over a ton of endgame moves, but I also want to go over some off-spawn moves that will greatly improve how good you are as an off-spawn player. And the first I'll be sharing is how to loot perfectly. Now, these tips are extraordinarily nerdy and very niche for the players wanting to go pro and become as close to perfect players as possible. But the most effective move to become really good at looting is first hopping into a game and making sure your replays are on, then doing your loot route, and after the game is done, you want to hop into replays, go into drone free, and check if there's any chests, ammo boxes, or floor spawns that you missed. Now, this is a crazy strat, but a ton of players cry about the game being RNG and getting bad loot, but don't even spend a tenth of the energy it takes to cry on doing this. When I actively grind, I always do this strat, and I often find that I miss important items like big pots, minis, and even occasionally missing a god chest. These are mistakes you can't make if you want to reach the top. So do your loot route, go into replays, and learn correctly how to loot. On the same note, I really recommend learning what to farm and not to farm at your landing spot. Some farmables give you basically no mats per hit, whilst others give you a lot of mats per hit. Finding the farmables that gives you the most amount of mats possible will make fighting off spawn even easier. And of course, you also want to make an off spawn strategy for when you're contested and not. Now, all of these things are quite boring, but doing the boring stuff is what is going to give you an advantage over everyone else playing, given that very few have the discipline to get all of these things in place. A loot and a farm route coupled with an off-spawn strat for when you're contested and not, both in solo and duos. Moving on, I gotta share how to chop fights. A lot of people have no idea how to chop, so let me give you the recipe. When you're in a build fight, you know you want to chop, you must first understand that you can't just drop down and start chopping. Not only will this give out an obvious audio cue to the player you're fighting, but he'll also understand what you're doing super quickly, even if he doesn't hear the audio. When build fighting, you want to chop the millisecond after you get a considerable tag. You must get this tag before dropping down to chop, because that will cause your enemy to box up and start playing defensively. When you've hit the tag and making your way down to the low ground, you want to look for 2 individual build pieces that can get shot out. These pieces doesn't have to be on the same layer, but for some reason people always look on the same layer when going for a chop. When you've identified these pieces, very quickly shoot or pickaxe them out, and get ready insta when your opponent will start falling. For move 80, you gotta learn the move of slide building. The reason sliding and building is so good is because you'll be able to move at a faster pace and of course also build at a faster pace. When playing defensively, you also become a much harder target to keep awareness over when sliding and building. So next time you warm up, add a little bit of sliding and building into your routine. A move people are generally insanely bad at is waterfalling quickly from high ground positions. Waterfalling is when you place a few walls and a ramp to de-elevate as fast as you can. In order to do it perfectly, you need to land far out on the stair and not at the middle of it. You can also edit the stair when waterfalling to make it even quicker, but if your movement is good enough on the basic one, editing the stair really isn't necessary. And truthfully, it's a little worse waterfalling with stair edits due to how the stair becomes so low on HP. Another thing we gotta talk about is when you have the advantage when it comes to peaks and not. A lot of people don't understand this, and that can cause you to either miss out on free shots or take a lot of damage because you misunderstand a situation. The peak we're taking a look at is when you play aggressively and the opponent opens up a peanut butter on you. If you're able to spot out that this is what the enemy is going to do and make your way to the very left of your own box, hugging the left wall, you will have the biggest advantage, as you will be able to fully see the opponent, but he won't be able to see you at all. The opposite is true if you go on the wall with a peanut butter beginning to smack. So in short, if you're pickaxing a wall diagonally from an open edit and you see that your opponent is about to do a peanut butter, be ready. Hold your shotgun out and take that trade, because you'll win it 100 out of 100 times. If you play from a peanut butter and see that your opponent moves all the way to the right, don't even attempt the trade, because you lose it. When you're in a box fight against a player and you're not entirely sure where he is, an easy way to check if he's sitting in his cone is holding your cone out when going for it and seeing if there's a lock in the middle of it. If it's a lock in the middle of your crosshair, that means that he's sitting inside of the cone, holding the edit, meaning he will probably wide edit on you. If you see this and you're ready with your shotgun and bait out the fact that you're pickaxing it, you can get a free elim. Talking about losing, a way you can make your enemies lose it is by doing the following. When you get pressured, you want to build a box out. Place a stair above your head and build another box. Then on your second box, you want to pretend to edit out. But in reality, you want to go into the left, hug the wall, and flip the stair whilst hugging the wall. This will cause you to face the ramp, and you can shoot directly through it at your enemy and get a free elim. Another move you can do with stairs is when you have an opponent boxed. You can edit the stair to shoot your opponent's toes. This peak will make it impossible for your enemy to tag you. And if you do it once, reset the stair and reposition you can do it again. It's a really strong peak, but it requires you to be prepared if your opponent tries taking your ramp. If you're playing on anything above 35 ping, this is a dangerous move, so just be wary of that. The enemies will have to be wary of you if you know this next one. Quite often, you find yourself inside of a box with an opponent, and every now and then, he'll be under your cone. If this sounds like a position you've been in before, then you gotta learn this move. Edit these 3 squares out to the left. Place a cone under you and a flat above your head. Then, whilst you run out to the left onto your cone, you grab the cone inside of your box and hold the reset until you're behind the wall. Then, you reset the cone, do a quick and perfect right-hand peek like we talked about earlier, and finish the fight. This one is very similar to the stair move I went over way earlier in today's video, but in my opinion, this one is a lot easier. And due to me liking keeping things simple in game, I find myself doing this so much more often than the same move with the stair edit. For move 87, I want to show you a very underrated peek, and that is editing these top 3 squares, moving all the way into the wall and crouching, and then quickly jumping up, shooting your shotgun and resetting. A lot of people when making this move make the mistake of going backwards when peeking, when in reality you want to hold your W button or joystick forward when doing this one. Not only will you deal more damage with your shotgun, but you'll also be way harder to hit for a lot of damage. This next one is a super simple way to exploit in from above. When you see that a player is boxed up, you want to begin by claiming his cone. Once that is done, you want to place a stair and edit it. Continue the move by simply smacking the floor once, and then when it's one pickaxeable, you want to jump up and hit your way into the box exactly when your body hits the floor. This way you'll be able to get in your enemy's box even if he's holding the floor. Now, this is not a play I recommend going for unless you've tagged the guy you're fighting for quite a bit of damage. But once your enemy is low, then this is a great way to just get the job done. A move that will be a great way to start a fight on the other side is placing a flat, editing it, and placing a stair into shooting your opponent. This move is a little advanced to consistently pull off, but when playing defensively, there are many times you'll get the opportunity to pull it off. It all comes down to being fast, consistent, and of course, hitting a big shot. To do it, you want to stand all the way into your wall. And when you see an opponent one layer up diagonally, you want to edit a peanut butter edit and then place a flat, edit these 3 tiles, and super quickly place a stair above. This way, your opponent won't be able to block you off. I usually don't jump when going for the shot. I simply just walk out to the right, take my shotgun shot, and reset. Understanding when to reload and not when applying pressure is up next. And this one is ultra important. When you're playing aggressively on an opponent, there are a few levels of aggressiveness you want to play to. You have cautious aggressiveness, which is when you tag someone for a little bit of damage to the point where you have the advantage, but they're still healthy enough to confidently fight you. This move is not for that kind of aggressiveness. Then you have the level of aggressiveness that happens when you tag someone for 100 plus damage, and they're on white HP. These players will most of the time try their best to build a lot and heal up, but if you give them an opportunity to shoot you, they will take it. This move is not for this level of aggressiveness either. But then lastly, you have when you tag an opponent down to 1 HP, when they're so low that all you need to do is connect a single shot. And that is exactly what this level of aggressiveness is all about. When your opponent is this low, you want to drop down on their wall with your weapon out, shoot a few bullets, but if you see that there is no chance that he will shoot you, you switch to your pickaxe and apply pressure that way. Then your enemy will build more boxes and do the same thing again. You do this as many times as your opponent reboxes. You have awareness, drop down on the wall with your weapon, see if he's going to shoot back or not, and if he's not, you apply pressure with the pickaxe. By doing this, you'll be able to apply tremendous amounts of pressure before having to reload. And it's something every single good player is able to do at a high level. Alright everyone, move 91 will be an extremely important one, and that is pushing early when playing off spawns. A lot of people when playing off spawns waste so much time when it comes to getting ready to fight their opponents. If you get a shotgun and some minis instantly, you have the biggest advantage in the world, as long as you just push without hesitating. There's no point in waiting longer, praying that you get even more lucky and get better loot. Don't let your opponents loot up and farm. Yeah, sure, fighting with low mats can sometimes be super hard, but if you ever want to get to a really good level, you gotta be comfortable with this. And just know that even if you lose once or twice pushing early when you get good loot, it was still objectively speaking a good play. You did the right thing, you just didn't execute it good enough. A play pretty much anyone can execute good enough is double side jumps. Double side jumps are simply done from placing a ramp and a cone, doing a side jump out and landing on a flat and a stair, yet again with a cone above and doing the same side jump again. The good thing about this move is that you gain a lot of elevation very quickly. The bad thing, however, that you need to keep in mind is that you're very easily choppable, meaning meaning you need to try to connect as soon as possible after having executed this one. If you're even more advanced, you can actually do double side jumps whilst sprinting, making them even faster and better. To do these ones, you need to think of your movement in a straight line, as you can't move your mouse back and forth when performing this one. For me, this is unfortunately way too hard to pull off consistently, but for the super mechanically talented players watching, I just wanted to add that in here, due to how cool it looks, and maybe you can even make it effective in real games. Now, a move that is insanely effective and also super easy is doing a bottom 3 Dorito edit. This edit has for some reason been neglected in the past, but in the past few months, we've seen more and more players using it, due to just how good of an angle it is. The best way I've found to use it in fights is editing it at the same time as you jump. From the opponent's POV, when doing this, you'll be almost unhittable. And worst case scenario, he hits you in the toes and you take a little bit of damage. No big deal. If you're like me and find this edit for some reason less natural to do than other peaks, I highly recommend playing in a focused and dedicated manner practicing it. You should practice this peak so much that it becomes your natural peak to go for when you want to edit the bottom side of a wall. There's no need to do those open 4-square edits when you can literally do the same amount of damage from this one and be way harder to hit. Another move that often makes you a hard target to hit is blueprint editing. Now, blueprint editing, or far editing as it's often called, is when you edit something that can only be reached when holding your blueprint out. Blueprint editing, for example walls, can be really good in box fights and in endgames. And learning how far away you can actually be and not to execute these blueprint edits will come in very handy in the occasions where this can win you a fight or get you a refresh. If you really want to master this skill, you gotta play box fights in creative against good players. Because trust me, by doing that, you'll learn these far edits in the blink of an eye. My 96th tip is one that is super important if you want to make your endgames a lot easier, and that is following tarps. Now, this season, following tarps isn't as easy as previous seasons, due to how there really aren't super long tarps anymore. Because of items like the fizz, people just generally build less boxes. But when there's limited movement, following tarps is such an amazing play to save mats for the later stages of your endgames. It does demand a little bit of awareness though, but more often than not, it is totally free to follow a tarp for say 5 boxes. And 5 boxes is 250 mats, saved without any real risk. So if you go into an endgame in an upcoming tournament, just keep this neat little trick in mind. For my 97th move, I really want to give you my first and only completely useless move. This one is embarrassingly hard, but if you execute it in a clip, for example, it will look incredibly cool. The move is often referred to as a flyer jump, because a guy by the name Flyer came up with it years ago. To do it, you want to ramp upwards with a ramp below you and above your head. Then you want to place a cone in front of you, then flip the ramp and do a high jump where you land on a flat and a stair at the same time. I gotta be honest here, this is a move I've never used in a real game, but that might just be because I'm not good enough mechanically. Let me know if you've ever used this in a real game or found any benefit of it in the comments below. Now, a move that is extremely useful to know is being able to take walls from above and editing them quickly as soon as you get them. To take a wall from above an opponent, you want to pickaxe at the very top left of the wall you want to take from them. Then when you go to replace the wall, you hold your crosshair at the same place. And if you've got good ping or your enemy has terrible ping, you'll get the wall. Your follow-up edit can be whatever you'd like. An open edit, a right-hand peek, whatever fits the fight you're currently in. This is by far one of the best ways to apply pressure on walls, and definitely a must-know move when it comes to competitive Fortnite. You can also make taking walls from above even more advanced. To do the more advanced version, you want to place a flat and a stair above a box. Then you want to go ahead and edit a stair into a half stair and edit this one tile right here on the flat. From behind this tile, you can spray the wall and take it. When you go to edit your wall, you actually don't want to blueprint edit. You want to hold your weapon out to make it as easy as possible. Obviously, when going for this move, don't just stand still like I'm doing here. Move around a little bit and make yourself a tiny bit harder to hit. Although from this angle alone, you are a pretty tough target. And move number 100, ladies and gentlemen, will be to reboot your friends from inside of a car in ranked. If you're like me and often get the honor of rebooting your friends when playing a bit of ranked, then this one can come in handy, given that you don't waste any mats and you're also protected from the first shot of your opponents if you have your windshield intact. To do it, the only thing you gotta keep in mind is to be super close to the reboot van, and you also gotta be in one of the passenger seats to make this happen. You cannot do it from the driver's seat. Alrighty guys, there you have it. 100 Fortnite moves you must know. I tried gathering all my knowledge about the moves I use into this video, and I really hope you have found some new tricks you didn't know about before. On screen right now, you can see 2 more of my videos, one story video and one video that will make you better. Check them out.